A biblical story inspired by Psalm 20, verse 5. Open book, the banner before the battle. In the days when Israel faced many enemies, there was a young warrior named Eliab. Though strong in body, his heart trembled whenever war approached. This time, a great army had gathered against Israel, larger, louder, and more confident than any they had faced before. The night before the battle, the camp of Israel was restless. Some sharpened their swords, others whispered in fear. But near the center of the camp stood an older man named Asher, known not for his strength, but for his faith in God. Eliab approached him and said, "Tomorrow we may fall. Their numbers are too great. How can we stand?" Asher looked at him calmly and replied, "Victory is not decided by numbers, but by the Lord. Have you not heard? We will rejoice in his salvation, and in his name we will set up our banners." Eliab frowned. "Rejoice?" Before the battle, Asher smiled and pointed toward a folded banner lying beside him. It was marked with the name of the Lord. Tonight, Asher said, "We raise the banner, not after victory, but before it. For our trust is not in the sword, but in God who gives victory." Though uncertain, Eliab stayed and watched. Asher gathered a few men, and together they lifted the banner high into the night sky. Then, instead of fear, they began to sing songs of praise and confidence in God's deliverance. Their voices spread through the camp. One by one, others joined. Fear began to loosen its grip as faith rose like a flame. Eliab felt something shift within him. His trembling ceased. For the first time, he believed, not in his own strength, but in the God who fights for his people. At dawn, as the enemy advanced, they saw something unexpected. Israel was not in disarray. Instead, a banner stood high above them, and a sound of rejoicing echoed across the field. Confusion struck the enemy. How could a people facing certain defeat sing with such confidence? When the battle began, Israel fought not with fear, but with boldness. Strength filled their arms, clarity filled their minds, and unity filled their ranks. By the end of the day, the great army that had come against them was scattered. Eliab stood on the battlefield, breathing heavily, his eyes fixed on the banner still waving in the wind. He turned to Asher and said, "Now I understand. We did not raise the banner because we won. We won because we raised the banner." Asher nodded and replied, "The Lord fulfilled our petitions, just as we trusted. Never wait for victory to rejoice. Rejoice, and you will see his victory." And from that day on, Eliab was no longer known as the fearful warrior, but as the one who carried the banner, lifting it high before every battle, declaring faith in the God who saves. Message: true faith doesn't wait for victory. It celebrates it in advance, trusting that God will bring it to pass.